Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for taking your time to spend with me. It is, what is it, April 19th? We'll see what the delay looks like here, and then we'll give everybody a few minutes to jump in. We'll get started. Let's see. Oops. I'm just moving my little things around so I can see. Little things, I guess I could be more specific. My windows. Let's see what we're looking at for delay. So it looks like we have about a 30-second or so delay. So just so you guys know, there's a little bit of a delay on my end from when I'm talking and when it actually gets to you guys in the comments. When I finish chatting today, there might be this awkward delay, and that awkward delay just means that there is really a delay, and this is me just waiting for it to catch up to you all. Okay, so this is real time with a little bit of downtime. And we'll give everybody a few minutes to jump in. Where is everybody from? How's your days? How's your mornings? How's your afternoons? How's your evenings? How's your next days? Let's see, make sure this is posted over here. Okay. So we look like we're good. All the windows are lined up. Let's see. So just give you guys, if you guys have never been here before, the way I like to run these is, what I'll do is I'll talk for about 20 minutes or so on today's topic, which we're going to talk about priorities today. And then after that, we'll open it up to a live Q&A. And in the Q&A, you can ask me anything you want. You can ask me about the questions that You can ask me a question about this morning. You can ask me a question about something else. You can ask me what the answer to 2 + 2 is. I might know it, especially if you ask me now, and then when I come to it later on. Generally, I ask everybody to, when I'm doing the actual talk, to hold your questions until the end. The reason is because I have these little chat windows up on the side of my peripheral, and so I can get distracted fairly easily. Big surprise. And it just helps me to stay focused without seeing stuff jump up in my peripheral vision. So with that being said, I encourage you all to take notes. If I say something that pops up, I say something that you think, oh, that was interesting, I kind of want to know more about it. Or if you say something you think, Jesse, you've gone off your rocker. What the hell are you even talking about? You can definitely write that down, and then we'll discuss it later. So we'll give everybody one more minute to jump in, and then we will get started. Let me make sure the record button's going. Yeah, it looks like everything's going. Cool. Look, we have, I think the 7:30 in the morning on Sunday is a little bit more favorable for all of our international friends. I think it looks like there's more of an international presence here than there is a United States presence, which is great. I try to switch these up so we do some where the time zones make it flexible for everybody to jump in. All right, so let's get going. Today is Sunday, April 19th, 2015. You guys, welcome everybody. How are you all? Thank you everybody for being here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, whatever time of day, night it is for you. Thank you for taking your time to be here, and I'm really appreciative and grateful that you chose to spend the time with me. Today we are going to be talking about priorities. And priorities, I think, is one of those topics that we all say we have priorities, and yet most don't really acknowledge what our priorities are until they're staring us right in the face. And then it becomes something not so much of a priority, but it becomes almost more of a burden, because now we're at that put up or shut up point, right? Before I get to priorities, just a couple quick notes. First of all, anybody who participated in the 1 billion steps in March event or who heard about it, first let me just say thank you. Thank you everybody for participating. Thank you everybody who supported everybody who participated. The event was amazing. There were hundreds, if not thousands of us from all over the world doing it. We walked tens of millions, over 50 million steps combined in the global community. So to put that in perspective, that easily circumvents the circumference of the globe, which is pretty neat that all of us joined together doing it. And the bigger goal with it was to get people moving, to make exercise fun, to help take a stand in fighting heart disease, all those horrible things. And I think we really did that. So it was fantastic to see our community come together and do this. Thank you again for people who participated. We also did at the end a special bonus day for a Walk for Row, and we raised Reach Out Worldwide, or a charity of your choice, and we raised several $1,000s for them, which is great because that was like a little last minute add-on. I can only imagine what we're going to do next year when we do the event, and how many millions, if not billions, of steps by that point we're walking, and the money that we could raise for a charity. With that being said, I wanted to let you guys know of some other events. First of all, if you guys have any community events you think would be really cool for our 1,000 Challenge community to do, please email me. I'm always open to hear suggestions about it. And we're going to for sure do International Trash Cleanup Day. Will be in June, like it is. And we'll also do a Sunrise Sunset Day again in September. I would love to do maybe another one in there too. Again, open suggestions. So if you have any pop up, please send them. I'd love to hear them. Let me just get this a little more centered here. And as a bonus today, I wanted to share with you guys all a little bit about my first ever live event, which will be in October. So I've been posting about it. I've been mentioning it here and there. I've been commenting on it, and I've been asking for your guys' feedback about what you need to hear about it. So just so you all know, if you haven't heard, in October of this year, October 9th and 10th, I'm going to be holding my first ever live event, and that's going to be in Santa Barbara, California, my hometown. I invite you all to come. The way it's going to work is you guys are going to spend about, and I'll have more details over the next few weeks. I'm still putting together details about the details. I just want to share with you all what I have so far. The event's going to work is it'll be all day Friday, all day Saturday. What all day means, I'm not sure. Is it going to be 8 hours, 10 hours? Who knows? When I get talking, I can get talking. So we'll see what we come up with, but it's going to be just 2 action-packed days full of value. Things we're going to do. We're going to do a lot of really fun stuff. Lots of really stuff. There's going to be some cool activities, cool interaction. I promise it'll be fun, and we're going to make some huge life-changing decisions, choices, interactions, thought processes, emotional viewpoints, all those types of things. And we're going to be spending time on taking energy away from our stories, right? So often in life, it's not what happened that's the problem. It's how we continue to relive what happened, the story we tell about that. And so we're going to be spending time on really just getting the energy away, taking the energy away from. We're going to be learning how to let go of our stuff and our baggage. So you guys may show up with emotional and mental baggage, right? From the stuff that happened in the past, the crap that weighs you down. And we're going to be focusing on just leaving that baggage. So you guys come to Santa Barbara with your baggage, and this is your metaphorical baggage. It's not our actual luggage. I want everybody to leave with their dirty underwear. But you're also going to come with the emotional baggage, the mental baggage, and we're going to leave it in Santa Barbara. I will dispose of it. I'm an excellent baggage disposer. Okay, I'm just looking over at some of my other notes I want to mention to you guys. We're going to learn how to really have a solid control over your mental and emotional state, so you're able to access happiness, joy, and be able to get to those places all the time. We'll do some really fun energy dissipation exercises where you're going to learn exactly how that when you have a challenge in life, when you find yourself getting stuck in an emotional state you don't want to be in, whether that's anger or frustration or anything, I'm going to teach you how to get out of it and how to get out of it really quick and then access more empowering emotional states. Okay, this is just some of what we're going to talk about. Basically, the way I'm going to structure the program is that you set an intention, what you want to get out of the program beforehand, and I'm going to be teaching tools and strategies to be able to help any of you and all of you get what you want out of the program and be able to use those skills and tools and have them be applicable in your life going forward. Whether that's in your relationships, whether that's in your work, whether it's in your health, whatever it is, you're going to have the tools and strategies to be able to really maximize those areas of your life. The way I'm going to do, so a lot of talk has been about the pricing. How much is it going to cost? What's it going to, all those types of things. I have not decided on a final investment price yet. What I am going to do is this. On around May 15th, so what is that? A little less than a month from now, I'm going to do an early bird rollout pricing. And basically, it'll be an intro special for everybody who wants to snap up a spot right then, and then they can lock that price in. As it gets closer to the event, the price will increase. So it behooves people to plan ahead and get the early bird price. And I promise you the savings will be substantial from the beginning towards the end of the event. People who do not take action, people who are waiting till the last minute, or people who decide, you know, there's going to be people who join our community down the road and they don't know about it and they say they want to come. I want to give first priority to those of you who are here, ready to go, and really want to jump in. So that's how that's going to roll out. And again, about May 15th is, I'm thinking, the target date for that. Okay, with that being said, let's talk about priorities. So with priorities, we got to look at things. So all of us say we have things we got to get done, right? All of us talk about things we want to do, things we want to accomplish. All of us have goals, dreams, aspirations. And if you were to ask somebody if this is important to them, most often we'll say, yeah, this is something I really want. This is a priority to me. Yet what happens? Time goes by, minutes tick away, weeks pass, months come, seasons go, and then years turn into more years. And what have we done? We have not gotten our priorities done. And why is that? Why is that? Well, the first thing is because we have not made our priorities our priority. Okay? We have not made our priorities our priority, which means that to get the things done that we really want to get done, to have our priorities accomplished, we have to make our priorities our priority. So I encourage you all to write that down. If you have something you want to accomplish, a goal, a dream, an aspiration, you have to decide that you are going to make your priorities your priority. And that's not just me playing with words or anything like that. That's the truth. We all say we have stuff we want to do, and then we don't do it. We don't do it. It takes so many of these, you guys, and this is such a tragedy of life, is it takes a near-death experience to even start to put things in enough perspective for us to step back and say, whoa, I do not want to live my whole life this way. I got to start making some changes. And I know I get it that there's work, there's all this other stuff too that comes in, and we'll mention that in a little bit more. And there's no reason that what you do for work, what you do because of work, all those types of things cannot be worked into your priorities. It's just a mindset of looking at your priorities and deciding that these are the most important things to you, and you're going to do what you need to do to get them done. Okay, so the first thing in prioritizing things and getting them done is to make your priorities a priority. Make your priorities a priority. With doing that, what we have to be willing to give up is we can't be being wishy-washy with these priorities anymore. We can't be saying try. We have to switch to a do mentality. A do mentality. And what that means is this. More often than not, when we talk about priorities, when we talk about getting things done, we will say things like, I will try to get this done. I will try to do this. I will try to do that. Yeah, I'll try to be there by 5. I'll try to I'll try to lose 20 pounds in the next 3 months. I'll try to make this year the year that I grow my business by 30%. Yeah, I'll try that. Here's what trying is, you guys, and I want you to really pay attention to this. There's a difference between committing to trying something and committing to doing something. If I hold this pin up, and I say try to get the pin, and if you are willing to reach towards the screen and grab the pin, technically you tried, right? I mean, I said try to grab this pen, and you went like this, and you tried to. Now, all of us know that unless you're in the Matrix and you have some sort of superpower that I don't know about, none of us are reaching through the screen and grabbing the pen. There's thousands of miles, there's all these digital pixels and all this other nonsense that I don't understand that prevents that from actually physically happening. But technically, by definition of the word try, you still did try to grab it, right? Whereas if you commit to doing, and doing is something where you are deciding for yourself that no matter what, you are going to grab the friggin' pen, okay? Doing is making a decision to grab the pen no matter what. So you're jumping on a plane, you're traveling to wherever you need to travel to, you're figuring out how to get this pen, and you are going to stop at nothing to get the pen because it's such a big priority to you that you are going to do it no matter what. Okay, think about that. Professional athletes, the ones that we really look up to, the Michael Jordans, the Messis, the Ronaldos, the LeBron Jameses, do they try to be great at their sport? No, they commit whatever they need to do to become the best. They make a full commitment to that. That means they're going to practice. That means they're going to sacrifice sleeping. That means they're not going to be going out and partying all the time with their friends when they need to be at home training, practicing, studying video of what's going to take to make them the best. So you understand that a trying mentality when it comes to our priorities means that we can have an excuse. Well, I tried to grab the pen and it just didn't work. I tried. I guess it's not for me, right? Does this sound familiar to anybody? Versus doing means that no matter what, you commit to go forward to accomplishing your goal, regardless that you might fail. Because no matter what, even if you fail, you look at failure as just a stepping stone to get you closer to your goal. Doing means you're committing to going forth and being great. Trying means you're always going to have an excuse to fall back on. Okay, so you have to make that shift, a trying mentality to a doing mentality. Once you make that shift, you have to be willing to, you have to make a decision to want what you want more than you want the excuse of why you don't have it. Okay, let me say that again. You have to make the decision to want what you want more than you want the excuse of why you don't have it. Think about that. You have to want what you want more than you want the excuse of why you don't have it. What does that mean? You really want this pen? Okay, what does the pen mean to you? If you try to get a pen and you don't, guess what you get? You get a ton of excuses. You get the reason to justify anything and everything. Have anybody here, and you know, this is honesty time, and honesty is good because this gets you to really hold accountability to yourself. Has anybody here ever had a goal and they haven't gotten that goal? And so what happens when they don't get that goal is, because they don't get the goal, it becomes an excuse for why they didn't do things. New Year's resolution is a great time, right? People sign up to the gym, they're going to lose weight. And then they don't lose weight because of X, Y, and Z. And then that perpetuates over time, and it becomes something they can use to ongoingly justify why they don't do this, why they don't do that, right? You have to, and it becomes an amazing excuse. Amazing excuse. We can use it over and over again. Well, I did try this. I tried to do this, and it didn't work out. And so now, because I didn't do that, I can't do this, this, and this. So a lot of times we will make priorities. We'll say something's important to us. We will make goals, and we do it because we value the excuse we get from not achieving it more than we value the desire to have it. So for something to become a priority, for something to really, really become a priority, something that you were going to do at all costs, you have to be willing to let go of the excuse of not getting it And you have to want what you want more than you want the excuse of why you don't have it. And that means that what you want has to become such a burning desire, it has to become so important to you. It's become so important to you that all the other stuff, all the other reasons why you wanted it, you could just sit and watch TV, that you could just sleep in today, that you could just have that extra cookie, or you could just, oh, you know, I'll get it done tomorrow. All of those have to go away. Because what you realize is that they just stand in the way from what you really want. And what you really want now has become more important than the excuse of why you don't have it. Does that make sense? Because this is a really important concept to get, because so often people set goals. And they will set goals that they say they want, but they don't really believe in themselves enough that they can have it. And because they lack that belief in themselves, because they lack the conviction to form the belief, what ends up happening is the goal becomes a source of pain for them. It becomes the excuse. The example would be like a relationship. People say, oh, I want an amazing relationship. I want an amazing relationship. And then they find themselves continuing to date the same person with a different name. They don't have the amazing relationship because they're not committed to doing their own work themselves to be able to work through the process to get the amazing relationship they want. And so instead, they keep settling over and over for somebody who's just average. And then what happens? The relationship runs its course. You know, it's good for a few months, maybe a couple years. Inevitably, it ends almost the same way. You hear afterwards, I guess I just can't be loved. Well, I tried, but I guess I'm just not good enough. Right? The language is all I say. Anybody ever experience this? Anybody ever know somebody who's experienced this? Right? The pattern is reciprocal, meaning it always comes back around. Because the person has not committed to wanting that relationship enough more than they want the excuse of why they have it. So that's a huge shift, a huge, huge shift. To do this, to make that change, to make that shift from wanting something more, from wanting something that you really want more than you want the excuse for it, you have to start to associate these things. You have to start to associate these things to ultimate pain versus ultimate pleasure. Okay, so let's think about this. You got to associate these things that you want to ultimate pain or ultimate pleasure. Your priorities have to be associated either one or two things, ultimate pain or ultimate pleasure. What do I mean by that? Everything that us humans do, we do for one of two reasons. We either do it to avoid pain, it's going to hurt too much, it's going to cost us too much, it's going to be too, whatever that is, whatever pain is for us, it's going to be too depressing, too sad, too painful. Or we do it to avoid pain or to gain pleasure. This is going to feel amazing. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be, I'm going to feel elated. I'm going to feel joy. I'm going to feel fulfillment. And so I'm going to go do it. We do everything we do. We do it for either to avoid pain or gain pleasure. And the scale is huge, right? There's obviously really painful stuff and there's not so painful stuff. There's really pleasurable stuff and there's not so, and less pleasurable stuff. And so everything we do to avoid pain or gain pleasure. What happens when we're doing our priorities is we don't make them dramatic enough in the scale. And so it ends up in this area. And we think, it might be painful, but hey, I've dealt with that before and I know I can handle it. So shoot, why put in the extra work to get this done when it's just going to be in here, right? Or it's same on the pleasure scale. Well, yeah, that'd be nice. But God, it's going to be a lot of work. And, if it's only this kind of nice, is it really worth putting in that kind of work for it? Is it really worth putting that kind of work in for it? And so we don't make our priorities a priority because it keeps it in here. What you need to do to make this happen is you have to associate them to ultimate pain and ultimate pleasure. Okay, whichever end of the scale you want to look at, ultimate pain and ultimate pleasure. You don't lose the 20 pounds that you're committing to doing at the beginning of the year. You start the year off, you make these things called New Year's resolutions, which could be New Year's priorities. And if you're only looking at it and saying, well, it'd be great if I look great in a swimsuit, that's cool, that's motivation. And that's not painful nor pleasurable enough. You got to get more. You got to get deeper. Take it to somewhere extreme where if I don't lose these 20 pounds, I increase my risk for a heart attack by 1,000,000%. And I don't want to live my life in a vegetative state or not being able to do this and this because I didn't take care of myself now. Ooh, that hits on the pain. That hits the pain button a lot more, right? And are you going to be more or likely to do it now that you've touched on that point, right? In life, you guys, there is going to always be another thing you can do. There's always going to be an excuse. There's always going to be a distraction that you can jump onto. You have to be willing to say that when the opportunity comes to go and hang out with your friends at all hours, and if you got something you want to get done the next day and you know that hanging out with your friends at all hours is going to work, you have to be willing to find that balance and say, hey, you guys, I got to step away because there's something I want more. And that whatever it is you want more, you have to link it up to something painful or pleasurable. And it has to be huge, and it has to be much greater than the pleasure you're getting out of spending time with your friends in the moment. Because other times we keep setting it aside, right? How many of us have had the opportunity to go to, go out to a happy hour, or go out to dinner, or go out to hang out with your friends, and it's so much fun, and you know you need to get home, and you know you need to get prepared for the next day because you have some big event going, and yet you don't do it because in the moment, there's nothing that seems to be more pleasurable than the time with your friends. And the pain that you're going to get from tomorrow doesn't seem that way. The pleasure, you're going to wake up. You're going to give up. And so you shun it along. And then you get up in the morning, or maybe you sleep through it. You say, oh, I'll do it next week. Oh, I'll go to the gym the next time. And it doesn't happen. It does not happen. I have some friends that will ask me all the time, whenever if I ever go out with friends, I'll stay out until late at night, and then I'm still up at the same time working out in the morning. And they'll ask me, they'll say, well, why do you do that? Why do you do that? And my response is this: because my health is so important to me. The way I associate exercise is it's something that I know once I do it, it's going to start my day off. And my day is important enough to me that I'm not going to sleep the whole thing away because I have stuff I want to accomplish. And to me, it would be ultimate pain for me to waste the day doing that. And so while everybody else is sleeping away, they're hungover, whatever it is, I'm up, getting my stuff done. Because there's far more pain for me not getting it done than there is the pleasure of sleeping in and just pushing it off till tomorrow. Does that make sense? Are you guys with me with this? So my association to it is there's a pain-pleasure thing. If we have priorities and to make our priorities a priority, we have to make them in the ultimate level. The ultimate level. When we're talking about pain and pleasure, we have to stand to gain ultimate pleasure from them, and we have to be able to avoid ultimate pain by doing them. Okay, does that make sense? If it's just a small amount of pain, a small amount of pleasure, we lose the incentive. We're not really incentivized enough to get it done. To shift from a trying mentality, trying to grab the pin, to committing to doing the pin, to committing to grabbing the pin no matter what. There has to be a pain pleasure thing, and it has to be on the ultimate scale. And when I say ultimate scale, if we look at a 1 to 10, this has to be a 50. It has to be a 50. And if it's anything less than that, guess what's going to happen? You're probably not going to get done. You're going to keep shoving it aside. And then what will happen is some day you wake up and it's staring you right in the face. And then now it's something that's completely different. It's like paying a bill. How many of us wait till the last minute to pay our bills? And then when we do that, it's completely stressful. It's this experience of running around getting all this stuff done. And then there's no satisfaction in it. Not that there's satisfaction in paying bills, but there could be satisfaction in the fact that you've managed your money well, you've followed your budget, you've planned out in advance, and you can be really confident and complimentary to yourself because of that. That's a huge goal to accomplish for a lot of people. But you miss out on giving yourself that credit, that pleasure of that credit, because you push it off, and now you find yourself running frantic. Trying to scramble, trying to get everything together. So deciding what that is for you on that scale. What is going to give you ultimate pain? What is going to give you ultimate pleasure? And how do you fit your priorities in there? Is going to be the key to shaping your life going forward. Is going to be key to how you experience success with your priorities and how you assign them, how you associate to them mentally and emotionally right from the get-go. If grabbing this pin there's not enough pleasure, there's not enough pain associated to it, all you're ever going to do is find yourself trying to grab the pen. And then what happens when we try is we just give ourselves an excuse. To commit to doing it, to committing this pen, to commit that this is your priority, and to commit to making it happen, you have got to have ultimate pain or ultimate pleasure associated to this. If not, it's never going to happen. And if by some chance it does, you are never going to get the value out of it that you could have, because then it's something that you're kind of forced into doing, versus voluntary saying that this is a priority now, I'm making it happen no matter what. Does that make sense, you guys? So just quick recap, then we'll do questions. Priorities have to become a priority. So to have your priorities, to become successful at anything you want to accomplish, it has to be a priority, and that priority has to become a priority. You can't be wishy-washy about it anymore. You have to switch from a trying mentality to a doing mentality. Trying is just a backdoor way to give us an excuse. I tried to grab the pen. I tried. Well, I guess I just can't. I'm a failure. Right? And then we all know how those voices go. Versus doing. No matter what I have to give up, no matter what I have to sacrifice, no matter how much time it takes, no matter what, I'm getting this pen. You have to decide that what you want, and you have to decide what you want it more than you want the excuse of why you don't have it. You have to decide that you want this pen more than you want the excuse of why we don't have it. So often we will set goals in life. So often we'll say something's a priority of ours. And that's not even true. We lie to ourselves, because what we really want is we want the excuse that comes with it of why we don't have it, because we can use that excuse and play it like an ace up our sleeve. Anytime we need to justify why we're not doing something, or why we're stuck, or why we're held back, we can pull our ace out and play it. I can't because I don't have enough money. I can't because of this. I can't because of that. You can't because the priorities that you've had in life, you've never fully made them a priority. And you haven't made them enough of a priority more than the excuse what it meant to you. So you guys have to be really crystal clear when you're making your priorities, because otherwise, if you're not connecting to it and you're not making that pain pleasure association to it, what they become is these wonderful excuses of why things don't work out. Why things don't work out. I can't trust my partner because I have too much baggage from my previous relationship. Why wasn't it a priority of yours to work through all your baggage before you entered into your next relationship? And when the relationship doesn't work out, how convenient is it for you to have all this baggage from a previous relationship to blame the other relationship rather than acknowledging your own responsibility for why the current relationship didn't work out? Think about that one. Maybe that just touched on a pain point for some of you. And if it did, I hope it did, because I care enough about all of you to get you to really look at here and here and see what that's going to cost you long term. And that leads to the final point, which is you got to associate this with ultimate pain or ultimate pleasure. For your priorities to really become a priority, for you to shift from a trying mentality to a doing mentality, for you to be willing to give up the excuse that comes with not succeeding and not accomplishing your priorities, not making them happen, you have to have it scaled on the ultimate pleasure. It has to hurt enough. If it doesn't, you're not going to make it happen. And it has to be rewarding enough when it does happen to make you make the decisions to make it happen. And lastly, just a final thought with it. As always, accountability is so crucial with anything, guys. Get your friends, get your family, get coworkers, get professionals, whoever it is you need to do, enrolled on your team. Let them know, send them an email, make a phone call, say this is what I want to do and this is why. And this is how you can help me. Because having that accountability is so crucial, because it's somebody in our corner, somebody who's willing to step up for us, strong enough for us, bring things to our attention, hold us to our goals when we may not be for ourselves. When we may not be for ourselves. Does that make sense? Okay, guys, questions. What do you got? Any questions at all? So much for your patience and listening. Let me hear your questions. I'm going to take a sip of water real quick. Well, you know what? I think the delay might be a little bit longer than 30 seconds. I'm watching myself, and it looks like I'm just now wrapping up. So that I think that looks like it's more closer to a minute delay. So I apologize, you guys. I told you 30 seconds, and I think you're on closer to a minute, maybe a minute 15-second delay. It is the funniest thing watching yourself reliving the past. It's like deja vu. Oh wait, I just said that. Oh, I just did that. Oh, come on, Jesse, wrap it up. Let's get the questions. We have a huge delay today. You guys, as you're asking questions, there is going to be a tiny bit of a delay in the, and I apologize for having to sit there and stare at me and there's this awkward silence. Usually in these chats there's about a 30-second delay, and today it looks like we're closer to maybe 2 minutes or so. Yeah, it looks like it's just under 2 minutes. I just took my sip of water to ask for questions. So the questions will start coming in and I'll be able to start answering them. When it comes to relationships, I always hear everybody has a type. I really need to change my type then. Same person, different name, so true. Yeah, and you know, it is. Oftentimes we say we have a type, and we usually will choose types that are the most complementary and congruent with how we feel about ourselves and the behavior that we practice throughout our day-to-day lives. And that's why we repeat patterns of behavior over and over. It's literally, you'll find yourself dating some of the same people with a different name. And there's a reason for that. And the reason is you. And people do not like, if they don't like the results they're getting in relationships, and they need to stop and think about, it's not the other person, it's how they're doing. It's what they're doing, it's the priorities, the standards they're setting for themselves. They don't like the results they're getting, it's time to make some priorities that are really a priority and stick with them. Questions, what do you guys got? Questions, comments? Type. This is your guys' time. I am here for you all. Ask away. You have to make the questions that are on the tip of your tongue in the back of your mind. Oh, should I say something? Should not? They have to become enough priority for yourself, enough of a priority for you to ask them. Then all of a sudden you log off later on and say, oh, I should ask Jesse that. Man, this could have really helped me. But I didn't. I guess I'm just da-da-da. You got to make those questions a priority right now. Anything? I guess is it a shy group this morning? Huh? Shy group? Or this morning? It could be. I guess it's afternoon and evening for quite a few of you. I feel like when there's the delay in the questions coming up, and we need to have like some Jeopardy music or something going. Do, 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 do. If you guys don't have any questions, that's totally fine too. If this was just so informative and helpful for you all, or if you're just thinking, oh, why in the world did I spend this time with this guy, that's totally fine too. What is the best way to make a priority a priority? The best way to make it a priority, is, again, it has to be, you have to associate it with ultimate and ultimate pleasure. That is the single best. It has to be something that no matter what it is, if it's important enough to you, there has to become ultimate pain or ultimate pleasure with it. Or both. If, for example, let's say you have a job that you're not really a fan of, and it's a priority for you to have a great attitude at your job. That has to become ultimate pain or ultimate pleasure. Usually it's not that point, and so we just kind of go through the motions. But if it becomes something where you start to make it associated to ultimate pain, if I don't have a great attitude at work, I'm going to lose my job. If I lose my job, I lose my house. If I lose my house, I'm going to be homeless. If I'm homeless, That means I'm going to be da, 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 da. My family won't love me. My friends won't love me. Okay, that starts to get really painful and puts a lot more leverage on you to make it an extra effort to have a great attitude. Similarly, if I have a good attitude at work, that means I might get a promotion. If I have a promotion, that means I might be able to travel more. If I get to travel more, it means I'm going to be able to spend more time with my friends, family, the people I love the most. If I'm going to be able to spend more time with the friends, family, people I love the most, that means I'm going to be more happy and fulfilled. Okay, if you look at it from those ends of the spectrum, how much more likely are you going to be to put in that extra effort to have a great attitude at work? Does that make sense? What if you plan on working towards one of your goals, allowing you time after work, but work takes much longer than expected, allowing no time but to go to bed and get ready to work the next morning? That just means it's not a priority enough for you. You are valuing sleep and your perception of the sleep more than you're valuing the goal. Okay, if you look at people, and you can watch documentaries on them, you can watch all these types of things, people will talk about when they're in this moment of passion, when they're in this moment of focus, that it's that important to them, sleep is the last thing on their mind. You know, and if they do, they're sleeping so much less because they're so excited about their dream, right? This is, why would I sleep when reality is better than a dream? Here's the thing, too. When you come home from work and you're so tired that you have to go to bed right then, and let's say that all of a sudden one of your friends was to call you and they said, listen, here's the deal. I have a credit card for the next 2 hours, and it has an unlimited balance on it. We can do anything we want. We can go anywhere we want. We can literally, all those things we've always talked about doing that would be so amazing, so fun, we can do them right now. This will literally be the most amazing time of your life for the next few hours. All of a sudden, as tired as you are, you're going to find the energy to do it, right? Have you ever seen little kids on Christmas morning? I think this is so funny, where it can be so hard to get them up. You know, you try to wake them up, and they're just like this, and then all of a sudden they see the presents in the morning. They go, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. They have forgotten all about being tired. All of us have a way larger energy reserve inside of us that we realize we have. It's just we are so caught up in the story of why we're tired that we think we have to be tired. I remember in college, my freshman orientation in college, sitting there and then telling us, and somebody asking, how much sleep is freshmen in college supposed to get? Or freshman in university is supposed to get? And somebody says something. They said, actually, science tells us that a freshman your guys' age should get to be 9 to 10, 9 to 11 hours of sleep a night. And everybody laughed, because then they said, well, the average amount people get is this. So basically what they were telling us right from the get-go is that we're going to be tired all the time. And guess what you got? All the time you're looking around seeing people who are tired, people who are sleepy. Is it because they're really tired, or is it because they were told they're supposed to be tired? Think about that. Have you ever been somewhere where you're not hungry, and then somebody says, I'm hungry, and somebody else says, I'm hungry, and somebody says, why? You're not hungry? And then all of a sudden you start to feel hungry. Were you hungry before? No, you were told you were supposed to be hungry, and then all of a sudden you start thinking about it and you start experiencing it. So again, your priorities have to be more of a priority than what you think you're going to get from sleeping. If you find yourself doing that over and over again, it's because the desire, the pain-pleasure area is not high enough for you. Good question. Let's see what we got. Now we got some typing going on over here. Is there a routine that you do to get yourself pumped in the morning other than caffeine or exercise? I don't do caffeine in the morning. I rarely, ever have caffeine. I don't do coffee. I don't do tea, none of that stuff. The only time I will ever have a caffeinated beverage is if I'm doing a long road trip and you get in that trance, you know, when you're driving for a really long time, it's a little bit, and I start to get a little, I feel like my focus is fading a little bit. I will have a few sips of an energy drink then. Other than that, I don't. I wake up and I'm just excited for the day. And that's what I do. I wake up and I start thinking about what I get to get done. Not what I have to get done, what I get to get done. And that's such a monumental shift from which people is, because when we wake up, oftentimes we think about what we have to do. And it's like this, what I have to do today. And you're already waking up with a burden versus waking up with the excitement of, today I get to do this. Today I get to do this. And that is such a different mentality. Think about it. Just say it out loud. Today I have to do this. Today I get to do this. Today I have to do this. Today I get to do this. There is a much more empowering connotation associated with the get than have. Have sounds like you're being forced into something. I have to go to work. I have to do this. I have to shower. I have to blah, 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 blah. Have to is also one of those things where a lot of times when we say I have to do this, it's because we feel powerless and we feel like we're doing things that are outside of our control. I have to go to work because the government wants my money for taxes. Versus I get to go to work. I get to go to work and earn money to put a roof over my head, or have to be able to subscribe to the internet and watch this guy wearing an American flag shirt at 8 a.m. on a Sunday morning in California, right? So that's a huge shift. Is you just wake up thinking about what you get to do that day versus what you have to. That in itself is so energizing and life-changing. Great question. What is your answer to this? You have yourself surrounded with positive people, positive goals, positive ideas, and positive thoughts most days, but there are days where negativity and the black clouds roll in, and you're not sure how to push them out and keep them out. Even though I know my reason why I want to live in my life with purpose and passion, I feel at times life throws you those curveballs, and I get stuck or caught up in those moments and not sure to focus on all those positive things. When the one bad apple seems to be my focus instead. Does that make sense? Yeah, that does make perfect sense. That's a great question. And my answer is this. It's because you are not committed enough to your passion and purpose, and it's because you don't believe enough in it. If you believed enough in the passion and purpose, if your belief was strengthened enough in it, you would acknowledge that those dark clouds are just that. They're just dark clouds. And that one bad thing, like you said, is nowhere near more than those other things. But right now, in your belief system, that bad thing is essential because, again, it gives you an excuse to focus on the cloud. It gives you an excuse not to connect to your passion and purpose. It gives you an excuse to make your priorities not a priority, and instead prioritize the excuses that comes with it. When you're fully connected, committed to passion and purpose, and you know and acknowledge that you have all these positive things going on in your life, and you surround yourself with the positive people and everything, you understand that there's going to be bumps in the road, and the dark cloud is just a dark cloud is blocking the sun out. The sun is still there. Most people, what happens is when the dark cloud rolls in and blocks the sun out, they just think that's it. It's a dark life. It's not. It's just the friggin' cloud moved in. Look at, here I am. Woo, dark cloud rolls in, but guess what? I'm still here. Now, you may not be able to see me, you may not be able to tell I'm here right now, but I'm still here. And if you focus on the fact of knowing that I'm still here, guess what? You find comfort in that, and you can trust in the process that the dark cloud is going to pass, and I'm going to be right back. If, however, you don't believe strongly enough in that, if it's not enough of a priority of yourself to connect with your belief, when this happens, then what happens? Oh, shit, the dark cloud came in. Life's over, blah, 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 and we start to list off all the other things that go with it. Just because a dark cloud rolls in does not mean that the sun is gone. It's still there, it's just hidden. And so you have to make a decision to focus on that belief versus what you want to make as become the absolute whole for reality. Does that make sense? That was a good question. Okay, I feel as if I need to reward myself in order to do what I know I should do. Shopping, if I work out longer. I can go to the park if I work towards my career goal today. Will I forever need this proverbial crutch always? And have you ever struggled with this, or have you always been fearless, bold about things? Let me answer the second question first before I answer the first one. Have I always been fearless or bold about things? No, not at all. I have definitely been the timid one, the one that hesitates, the one that is inactive. And there are still things in my life where I might be more hesitant about, I might be a little more, about. And the way I move past that is the same thing I was telling you guys. I look at it and say, how much of a priority is this? And is this something I'm willing to link up to pain and pleasure? I can give you a couple examples. Just with, I opened up talking about my live event in October. I was terrified to put that out there. This has been a goal of mine, something I've wanted for a long time. And I know in my heart I'm ready for it now. And this is it's time. And there was still those things saying, well, what if this? What if that? What if? And it's really easy to focus on the what ifs and start making excuses. Oh, well, what's it going to hurt to push it off a few more months? What's it going to hurt to wait till next year? What's it going to hurt? And then I start to think about, well, what is it going to hurt? How am I going to feel if I do that? Knowing that I'm ready for this now, and I am taking my passion and purpose and shoving it aside because I'm choosing the value my excuses, my fears, my whatever it is more than that, that's going to hurt a hell of a lot more. A hell of a lot more. Okay? So have I always been? No. Am I still sometimes a little hesitant with things? Absolutely. I'm a human. I'm a human. Is it something I struggle with? Not so much. It's something more I just go back and forth with it. I know what I want. And I also know that if I ever have a debate about it, it's because in the moment I'm choosing the value of those things, which gives me an opportunity to re-examine and really strengthen my beliefs on what I want. And then to answer your first part of your question, I feel as if I need to reward myself in order to do what I know I should do. Shopping, if I work out longer, I can go to the park. If I work towards my career goal, what if I ever need this proverbial crutch? You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with a reward system. I think it's really fantastic. I think it's great to have reward systems for ourselves, incentivize. It's accountability, right? And why shouldn't you reward yourself for a job well done? Now, if you look at it as a crutch, that's going to be something else. You know, I'm a huge fan of rewarding and celebrating behavior and everything like that. I love eating really healthy in the week, and I'd love to be able to enjoy some food on the weekend that I might not have otherwise. Right? And that's a reward system. If I work out hard, if I do all this stuff, then I can reward myself with this. I love to be able to have goals on the horizon that if I do this, 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 and this, then I get to reward myself with this. So I absolutely think I encourage you to change the way you look at it as a crutch versus just, I think it's this healthy behavior. All of us are incentivized by things. What I just said before about making your priorities a priority, pain versus pleasure, that's a reward system, right? The reward of knowing that there is going to be this great pleasure, this security, this certainty, whatever it is that comes with it, makes it worth working towards it. That's a reward, and that's definitely not a crush. That's motivation. So I think what you're doing is healthy already. And if you feel that what you're doing is not healthy or it doesn't leave you feeling empowered, you got to re-examine the motivation behind what you're doing. Because it's not so much the reward system as it might be the motivation behind it. Good question. I meant coming home from work at 11 p.m. and waking up at 5 a.m., but I guess I can still use a few hours in between and not sleep, or at least dedicate 1 hour of sleep towards goal. Yeah, again, you know, you have to make that decision for yourself. To me, I look at 6 hours of sleep and I think that's a lot. I go, whoa, 6 hours, whew, I'm stoked. And that comes from somebody who used to be the person that would flip out at night when he would go to bed, because if he wasn't getting the 8 hours, if he wasn't getting 8 hours of sleep, he's going to wake up tired. And that was a belief I had. That was a belief I had. And then I started looking at my beliefs and thinking about, where did this even come from? And I started studying our minds, studying our behavior patterns. I was like, this isn't really what I believe. This is what I've been told to believe. And I started training myself, and looking at it like, oh, do I really need that much sleep? No, because I wasn't getting that great of sleep. There's a lot of it was tossing and turning and whatnot. I got my little Fitbit thingy now, you know, track sleep. I tracked it the first couple days I had it, and it said I had like a 99% efficiency rating with sleep. And you know what? Here's the thing, you guys. Several years ago, I used to tell people I had mild insomnia. My mama told me she has it. I was hanging out with my family a few weeks ago for Easter, and everybody was talking about how they have insomnia and it's hereditary. And I'm thinking that's what I was raised with, and that's part of where I got it from. And so guess what I do? I fall asleep worrying about my bills, worrying about this. Was I sleeping soundly? Not at all. Was I waking up tired? For sure. Wandering around, blah, blah, blah. Now, 99% efficiency rating. I barely move. Friends will make fun of me saying, oh, there's this noise going on, and I was out. Because I've trained my mind and my body to work that way. And so you got to look at those things again and prioritize it. The conceptions we have about sleep, do we really need that much sleep? What we need is good quality sleep. And we definitely need sleep to restore our bodies, restore function, health, everything else. And think about how good you're going to feel and how amazing you're going to feel and how empowered you're going to feel if you accomplish your goal. When you accomplish your goal. It's going to be life-changing. Right? Okay, guys, we have time for about 2 more questions. Do you make a priority list daily to help you stay focused? Yeah, sometimes I definitely do. There are times where I absolutely will. And usually what I do for it is, depending on the day of the week, I have my schedule. And some weeks I'm busier with clients, some weeks I'm busier with meetings, some days I am. And so I will kind of build it around that. And then the days that I don't have as many appointments or clients, That's one where I'll usually make more of like a to-do list or a priority list, things I want to get done and why. And I'll usually write down why I want to get it done. It's for a lot of people, oftentimes it's not enough just to say, I need to get this done, I want to get this done. You got to say why. You got to say why. You got my tail wagging hard this morning, wanting to go out and start a great day. You're my morning coffee. Perfect. See, much better in caffeine. Much better in caffeine. You guys, just to put things in perspective, I went to bed at 2 this morning. I went to bed at 2, and I got up at, no, I think I went to bed at 2. I remember looking at the clock, and it was 2:08. I woke up at 5:03. And I seemed pretty energized, right? Oh, I'm drinking. This is just water. Oh, and I had a protein shake an hour ago. One more question. Anybody have one more question? We have time for one more. And if not, that's cool. We will forever hold our peace. Going once, going twice. I think we are sold. So you guys, thank you so much for taking your time to be here with me today, whether it's morning, noon, evening for you. I really appreciate you coming in and spending your time with me. I hope you found value in this. If you did, please share the video. I'll post it later on. I'd love to hear your feedback. Leave your comments below, comments on the 1000 Challenge page. I sincerely hope that many of you can come to the event in October. Like I said, there's going to be more information popping up in the next few weeks. I hope to have a website page with some information on it in the next 2 weeks or so. And my goal is to do an early bird for tickets around the 15th of May. So that way, anybody who is really serious about coming, they can book the ticket, reserve their spot, start planning. I'm going to have a Facebook group that goes with it, where once you get your ticket, you'll be added to the group, which will give you guys opportunity to meet each other, network, plan who's coming together. If you guys want to share rooms, you guys want to travel together, whatever that is, plan meals out, all those types of things. More. I'm trying to give everybody as much time as possible for this, because I know it's going to be, a lot of you want to plan around and make it happen. So I want to do what I can to support that. And anything else, guys, leave a comment, shoot me an email. Thank you again for taking the time to be here, and we will do this again next month. Okay, guys, have an awesome day. We'll see you later.